Haven't you noticed that time itself decides all matters? And that starting something strong doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to finish like that? Time itself will wear you out. And if the why behind the what is not strong and sturdy, then along the way it's going to chisel away at circumstances, or circumstances is going to chisel away at that why. So whatever you do in life, the why must be one that can endure the length of time. Okay? The Bible talks about building houses, one on sand, one on rock, right? And when storms come, the house collapses. If the one is built on sand, that is a man that is, or a woman that is living by a philosophy that it's thought up and or invented, etc. That is like, okay, let me get to the point of this video. I'm not gonna make this video too long. The Bible says that love endures all things. Love, okay? It says love never fails. So love is the component of which, when you implement that to the stratosphere of the driving mechanism of what drives all things, and you put love as the source, that can endure the time test, right? Have you ever seen how somebody can get distracted, right, by other things and lose momentum on the thing that they started with so passionately, right? The why started to fade away with time, didn't it? That's why they started to pay attention to something else. So then our job as humans is to diagnose, self-diagnose, and take inventory as to the why of everything. What is your why behind how you operate? I would take first and foremost the operation of relationship with God. Why do you follow God? Why do you believe in God? Why? And ask, those questions. Because again, time itself will decay any other source that is not love. Why you follow God will be chiseled away with time, over a span of time, if the why source is not love. Circumstances will contradict your why over a period of time. If you follow him for stuff, when the stuff doesn't come, your why is going to get chiseled away. Something else will take its place. So again, love is the driving mechanisms that endures all things, endures time itself. Okay, God is love. He never changes. So that is a nugget there. When you are going to measure yourself or rationalize your step work, I wouldn't just look at the beginning. I would look at the timeline. Okay, I like to do this. I like to measure life by moments. I like to measure life. When we reflect on memories that counted for something in our lives, it can be summed up as a moment. Wow, I remember that. And you're thinking of that moment of your first kiss, or when you lost your virginity, of that moment with your loved one that passed away, that you were there by their bed. It was a moment, and life is summed up by moments, which is a reflection of time. And so when you really look at life from these angles, you can make life count all the more, because a lot of life is wasted because people are not plugging in to the right sources. You understand? So when you look at life from the wrong angle, you kind of falter to an alternative reality that God didn't really hand you, but you assume the responsibility to work things out for yourself. Okay? So a lot of this is psychology, but we gotta go within to diagnose ourselves as to what's faltering in our lives, what's disconnected, what's not operating accurately, and then find out the why behind it. then it's up to that human being for their own life, right? Because assuming that responsibility and accountability is what's going to fix that person's life, right? Failure to do so, they remain the same, and they get more of the same type of fruit. Over a period of time, right, it just decays more and more when it's not operational. It's not, when it's faulty, it's not gonna fix itself. So in a lot of ways, we have to assume responsibilities for everything that we do, say, how we think, etc. And it's only then that when we really think about it prudently, can we make better moves. So I gave you a few nuggets here. I just got to the gym. I'm gonna, make one good move, right? I'm gonna make this moment count for myself. I'm gonna live in the moment, right? I'm going to hover over myself as I am walking and thinking and doing, and I'm gonna hover over myself almost like I'm analyzing the way that I operate as a human being. I'm gonna take note as to what I don't like, and I'm going to then find out the remedy thereof. What can I do different? How can I change this? How can I tweak it? How can I make it better to get me to the finish line of what the promised land looks like? The promised land looks like a finished product of a man that you can throw anything and everything in the kitchen sink at that person, and it doesn't disturb them, it doesn't mess with them, because they have mastered themselves. Imagine living a life that you have there's nothing that life can do to get the best out of you. Not because it can't hurt you physically or this or that, but more so like you don't give yourself over to the circumstance. You maintain your posture, your position, your mentality, your emotions are in check, etc. And you move forward strategically to resolving the issue, whether it take a day, a week, a year, but you stay consistent, operating from a place of love, a place of sanity and logic, reason, a place of connection to God, a place of health, like being healthy in the way that you operate towards people, places, and things. So again, I got to get going, but we are the project in this life. People like to make projects out of so many things. Some people want to fix other people. And that's when God said in the Bible, hey, you see that plank in your own eye? I need to take care of that first.